Hello everyone, it's Katie here from the Scrappy Sisters, and I am back today with our Scrap September series, and I am doing day 9, which is wrapping paper. So you can see here that I have a selection of really bright, colourful wrapping paper. This one's actually from T2 of all places, and I keep only the wrapping paper that I really feel like, I will use on a scrapbook layout. I don't hoard all wrapping paper, but I do keep the stuff where I go, oh, I could really reuse that. This, or these few pieces, is one of those. I really feel like I could use that. So the photos I'm actually scrapping are a whole series of selfies that I have taken with the Snapchat app. I know lots of people are taking selfies with this app, and I do feel like it's a really good app for taking photos of yourself, but then I'm kind of like, what do I do with all these crazy photos? So I decided I would do a number 12 layout and include all of my recent Snapchat selfies. So really what I was going for was kind of a bright, fun layout that's just a little bit crazy like I am. So yeah, that's the effect I'm going for. So just what I'm doing now is working out what I want to back the photos on. I do want to mount them or back them on, a piece of kind of the wrapping paper, because I think they need something just to help them, not fade away. I need them to be able to stand out a little bit. So I have decided to back them onto this mint paper with the white cross. I'm going to edit this bit out because, you got the idea. I'm going to back them on the mint wrapping paper. So I've done that now, and I've cut them all down, and so I just let a tiny bit of that sort of mint wrapping paper poke through, and I think it looks really good. So I'm just sort of, I guess, fiddling around a bit with how I want these two bigger pieces of the kind of, I don't know what you call this, marbled look wrapping paper, how I want that to go. And I also had some cellophane with these like white flowers on it, and I decided that I also wanted to include that on the layout. I really like the cellophane, and I've had it for ages actually and haven't sort of worked out how to incorporate it into a layout. And so yeah, I just decided that I would kind of stick it down basically on top of the marbling paper, just to give it a bit of texture, a bit of a different look, a bit of shininess, although under the lights in my office it comes up much shinier than it actually looks like in person. So when I must admit, when I put the layout into my album, into my page protector, because obviously the page protectors are a bit shiny, it's, you can't kind of see I guess the shininess, but it does add just a little bit extra to the layout, and that was really what I was going for. Plus, I had it in my stash and I thought maybe I should just use it. Isn't that the point of our supplies, that we actually use them? So I'm sticking down this paper now, and I've decided that I want the marbled wrapping paper in the L shape, although I do toss up maybe covering the entire 9x12 piece of white cardstock with the marbled paper and just leaving a small border, but ultimately I decided not to do that and I leave it in the L shape. So you can see me here, I'm just sort of trying out what that might look like as a full piece, and then I go, no, definitely want the L shape, so we're going to go with that. So just sticking that down now with my trusty double-sided tape, which is what I use for everything. I'm not one for straying from what works for me. I know I've seen lots of people use the ATG guns and that type of thing and the tape runner, and it does look easy, I will agree, but I really feel like the tape runner is quite expensive, and I've used tape runner a few times, just a little kind of runner you can get from Spotlight, and it just runs out really fast. I don't know, is it just me? Whereas I find that the double-sided tape, I don't know, I can get a bit of time out of it. I just use it for everything and I really like it. So that is my adhesive of choice. Right now though, I'm thinking about how I'm going to attach this cellophane without being able to see the double-sided tape, because I don't love that with vellum. But what I found with cellophane is it's not like vellum at all, and as long as I rubbed in and sort of really got the double-sided tape to stick, you could barely see it. And because the photos were kind of covering so much of the marbled pattern paper, I really you know, it didn't bother me, and I just made sure I rubbed it down nice and flat and really adhered it well, and then yeah, you couldn't really see the tape at all. In fact, I am looking at the layout right now and I can't see any tape. So win-win. So yes, that's why with the second piece of cellophane I just stick it straight down. I don't bother to try and see if the photo is going to cover up the tape, because ultimately it doesn't matter. So I've adhered that. I do have a little bit of the cellophane sticking out over the edge, so I'm just going to trim that down. Yeah, just roughly, because it doesn't have to be perfect, because that's the point, isn't it? The imperfectness of scrapbooking, at least for me. So I'm just rearranging my photos, deciding how I want them to be placed on the layout, and then I'm going to stick down some of them and pop up some others. So yeah, I'm just going to do that. So I'm sticking down, I think I stick down 3 straight flat onto the page, and I pop up 2 of them. So yes, again, probably could have edited this out, but it's not a super long video, so that's okay. We'll sit through this. I hope you guys are enjoying our September series. I know it's a lot of videos for people to watch, but hopefully you're enjoying seeing us, I guess, use different prompts when we're creating our layouts. I know for me it's really helped me, you know, think about how I create things and try some different things that I wouldn't normally have done. Like, even though I have quite a bit of wrapping paper in my stash, I've really only used it once before in a layout. So yeah, it was good to be able to get that wrapping paper out and just see how easy it was to use and how effective the layout turned out. So I'm really pleased about that. So that's it. That's all my photos done. And I've actually decided that I want to use a thicker word for my title because it's easy, and I was a little bit lazy on this day of scrapping. So I looked through my thicker words. I found one that says cheers, and I decided that, you know, that worked. I kind of wanted to, I guess, encapsulate the silliness of the photos without writing something like silly selfie, which I'm pretty sure I've used on a title before. So yeah, I went with cheers. I thought that sort of worked. These little tubs of ephemera were on my desk anyway, so I'm flicking through them. I think in the Moonstruck, I don't know what the name of this collection is, but there was some feathers that you can see there in the ephemera pack that I knew, and I knew that they would go with the kind of colour scheme, so I wanted to pull those out. And while I was doing that, I also found a banner that says tell your story, and I thought that was pretty kind of apt as well, so I went with that. So there's 3 feathers, and I'm really just going to place them in sort of some of the small holes in the layout. I didn't think the layout needed that much embellishing because, you know, there's a lot going on already there. And I didn't want to kind of overdo it, but I did sort of go a little bit crazy with the black puffy, not puffy, what are they, foam hearts that came in the thicker word pack, because there was only 5 of them left, and you'll see in a minute when I bring the kind of the sheet that the thickers are stuck onto that I've basically finished. And so I didn't see, you can see there's like 2 stars in that picture. I didn't, you know, just want to leave those hearts. Once I'd decided I wanted to use them, I'm like, I'm just using them all because I want this, you know, thicker sheet to be used up soon. I like using things in my collection, not just leaving them, you know, partially used, because they take up space and then I want to replace them with new things. So I've stuck down all of those, and then right beside me on my desk was also these flare badges from Cocoa Vanilla Studio Love Always collection. That one's a love heart that I just stuck down, and the one I just put down there says love you, and I thought they were cute and I wanted to include them, so I did. Maybe I should have included 3, but I didn't. I only included 2 because I am a rebel. And then I decided that it needed something else, just in that kind of white space. So I do grab my trusty Heidi Swap Colour Shine mists, and I have the navy one which I just splattered there, and I'm also going to use the gold. My gold is getting very low and it's actually getting a bit watery, which is annoying me a bit, but you know, there's still a good maybe 1/3 of a bottle left, so it's not that low I suppose, but it just seems really watery now. Anyway, here is a close-ups. I hope you like this layout. I love how it turned out. Yeah, I hope you're following along at home, and like, comment and subscribe, and we'll see you in tomorrow's video. Alright, bye guys.